it's DaniElle DeLaite at the premiere of Like Father. The red carpet's just about to start, so let's check it out. In what ways does being stuck on a cruise ship help bring Harry and Rachel together?
One, it's outside their comfort zone. Being on a vacation, I feel like you learn a lot about someone. You learn about their sense of adventure, how they look at the world, how they act in different environments. But they're also on a contained boat. They can't actually get off. Whereas if they had just flown to Mexico together, they could take a flight back. They have to wait for the ship to dock. It was this sort of beautiful device that Miller Rogen, our writer-director, created to force them to work out their issues.
I read that when you were writing the screenplay, you had days where it felt like a vacation and then times when it felt like therapy. What did you mean by this?
I was sort of going through an emotional time in my life when I was writing this. My mom, who has Alzheimer's disease, she was sort of just becoming advanced, so I was in a rather dark place. So sometimes I would, as an actor, I think I just sort of like always put myself in my characters' heads as I'm writing them. And so some days I felt like I was playing around on a cruise ship, and some days I was like, I just really need to fight through these emotions that weren't even mine, they were theirs.
Why do they take an interest in Harry and Rachel's relationship?
Paul's character does because he's sort of a family therapist. What does he say? He's been a therapist for like 3 months, so he's like, oh, this is a chance where I can sort of get my fingers into somebody else's business. They see right off the bat that Harry and Rachel are these sort of two beautiful, wonderful people who've both made a lot of big mistakes. And I think when you come across that and you actually feel like there's something you have to offer to help, you want to do that.
What was it like filming on this cruise ship in the middle of the Caribbean?
It was actually really fun. It's almost like summer camp, but this was intense. And Seth was there with his parents, who are a riot. It was just like a real family affair. It was great. It was great.
It was fantastic. It is the largest thing that moves, made by man. Wonderful. The captain came down one night and chatted with us, and actually, as we were standing there, I suddenly realized, because I'm a boat guy, I thought this guy must be the most famous man in the world, in his world. He runs the largest ship in the world, and that is one cool dude.
It was amazing filming in the middle of the Caribbean. It was one of those things that I actually didn't realize that I had done it until we were on our scout and I was sitting on my balcony and I was like, oh, I did the thing where I wrote a movie that's going to shoot an amazing place.
The Caribbean was an amazing partner. We were really lucky that we were able to shoot it on an actual active cruise ship, and it's one of their biggest beautiful ships, so we really got to know that thing well. Yeah.
There were people on the cruise who were paying customers, and so a lot of them were used as background, and everybody on the ship was wonderful.
It was so much fun. We had a blast from day one to our finale day. It was really, really, really just one of the best experiences of my life.
How did the hurricane affect shooting?
It affected it greatly. As I was about to fly in that day to start shooting in Florida, the hurricane was coming. And I was like, do I get on this flight? The producers were like, get on it. And then I get off of the flight and they're like, okay, so we're going to have to evacuate.
We had to shut down for 7 days, thanks to the woman in black, Kristen Bell. She really helped out. We were in a resort, and they had put in 1,400 people in wheelchairs that needed help. And she organized our whole crew, and we were getting them food and wheeling them around, and because we were there for 7 days while the hurricane flew over our heads.
How did you get involved as producer on Like Father?
I met Lauren a couple years ago, read the script and loved it, and I worked with a woman named Molly Connors. We came in together and started producing it, and just really thought this was the perfect combo of drama and comedy, and then got it to Netflix, and it really took off from there.
I just had this idea, and I was looking for a female writer, and I met Lauren, and she was really, 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 really into it. So probably the best decision I've ever made professionally. Because we made the movie we set out to make. She proved everybody right in believing in her. And she's going to go on and do a bunch of great things in this business.
It's a very powerful and emotional scene shot at a waterfall in Jamaica. What was it like to shoot this scene with Kelsey?
That was a very big undertaking. We actually had to either jump off of a dock and land in the water and be shuttled in a boat out to the place we shot, or we had to belay down like a rock climber.
The rocks were really wet, and at one point the dam had broken like a mile down, and literally Kristen and Seth were standing in the water shooting, and all of a sudden the water rose like 1.5 feet, and everyone's like, get out of the water, get out of the water.
It was knee to waist deep current water running, and the camera guys were tethered to the wall, and the running water was so loud. And on top of it, we had to have like the most emotional scene of the movie and just sort of break down to each other.
And they sat down on those rocks to have that scene, and the camera guys were literally floating in the water, literally. I was like sitting on a rock, sobbing.
Rachel has a bit of a close relationship with her phone. What's your phone etiquette like?
It's better than Rachel's. I try to stay off of it as much as I can because I have a 2-year-old and I don't want him to get too addicted to it. Sometimes I have the habit of being in it.
Not as bad, but it's not great. Phones are a trick. I try to remind myself all the time. You do need it for work. At the same time, you have to remember that it cannot and should not be tethered to your emotional security or your self-esteem, and that looking at social media should be fun and positive, and if it doesn't feel like that, then ditch it.
I've been told, honey, put the phone down.
I'm good with my phone. I keep it away. I don't prioritize my phone.
I have a no phones at the table rule, so if like I'm having dinner with somebody, it's like phone is in the pocket on silent.
In the movie, there's a newlywed scene game show. If you and Seth had to play the newlywed game show, how would you go?
Well, the truth is the reality of the game show where they cheat. Seth and his sister were on a game show when they were kids, and their dad came up with that plan to cheat. And so I actually just stole that for this. So I think if Seth and I were on a newlywed game show, we would devise a plan to cheat because we would win.
I think we'd be pretty good because my husband and I are both oversharers, so we know everything about the other person. But we also disagree on 99.9% of things on the planet. So if there were any opinion or subjectivity involved in the question, we would have opposing arguments.
I love your karaoke scene. What was it like to film that?
Real fun.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
This is a joke of Kate Berlant. I am crediting Kate Berlant, comedian Kate Berlant, who's in Edinburgh right now. Go check her out. I do therapy, so I don't need to do karaoke. That's her joke, but I kind of agree with that. I don't really do karaoke. Sorry to be lame. I know.
I have nothing. Whitney Houston. Yes. Salt and Pepper.
Is it Shoop?
No. Yes, it is. Here I go again, girl. What's my weakness?
Truly, I don't even know because I haven't karaokeed in years. But if I had to choose, it would probably be something musical theater and current, like a Dear Evan Hansen or a Hamilton, or old school Disney, like a Little Mermaid or something. I go full cheese. I am a nacho platter.
I don't do karaoke in real life for a really important reason. I'm not good enough to be impressive, and I'm not bad enough for it to be funny. I don't know what it would be. It would probably end up being like Johnny Cash or something.
I think it actually would become Sail Away now because I fell in love with the song and it meant a lot to us.
What are you excited for audiences to see?
I'm just excited for them to see like Lauren's work, and I think it's a certain kind of tone. It's not your classic rom-com, which is great.
Excited to see. I think they'll just like the story. These two people that should love each other have a chance to, and it's really fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.